Hello and welcome to the GSBC podcast, proudly brought to you by the Greater Springfield Chamber of Commerce and powered by Purple Bunny Marketing. I'm your host, Matt Taylor-Farrington from Purple Bunny Marketing, and today I am joined by Mark from Western Spirit Football Club. Thanks for coming along to have a chat.
Yeah, no, thanks for the invite, Matthew. Really pleased to be here and really appreciate the Chamber's support as well. So, yeah.
No worries at all. And congratulations on winning the Lifestyle Award on the night. That was good. But let's start with your story and how did you first get involved with Western Spirit Football Club, and I guess what does the club mean to you personally?
Look, at my history at Western Spirit goes back about 8 years. So my son Chris was playing football at other clubs at the time and lost the love for sport a little bit. It was a bigger club in the area. But we made some contacts there, and a guy called Brad, who's involved with Spirit with me now, made some calls and said, look, why don't you come down to Spirit and see if Chris enjoys it. That was 8 years ago. He joined as an under 14 and we've been there ever since. He's in the first team now and loving it. My daughter Lucy, so they're twins, Chris and Lucy are twins. She joined a couple of years ago, so she's been playing for the senior women's team as well.
Yes.
And we just love it. It's a real community family club. The atmosphere is very good. Everyone's very supportive. So that's why we joined Spirit. My personal involvement, a couple of years ago, Spirit, we're based at Kipping Park at Goodna and at Dale Road at Camira as well, but the Goodna facility went under in the flood. There was a small band of core volunteers there, hard working but tired, and the flood could have been the last straw, so the club was pretty much on its knees. Brad and myself got involved as well just to come along and offer some support, and really since then I've been involved on the committee or as secretary doing social media and just loving it. So,
Good. All right, so Western Spirit has a strong presence in the local community, which you kind of talked about just before as well. But what do you think makes the club such a special part of Springfield and the surrounding areas?
Okay. Look, for us, it's really important that we're not just a football club. We really do value our part in the community, and we try to grow people, not just players. It's not just about success on the field. It's about being successful off the field. My personal experience with Chris, joining the club as a teenager, those years can be challenging, and I think the role models he got at the club with some of the older players and the coaches and just some different male role models there were really important for us, and that's something that stuck with me. We also make sure that we develop our junior players off the field, as I said, so they'll volunteer in the canteen, they'll act as club referees, so that gives them a sense of confidence. We've had a number of those junior players that have worked in the canteen and then have gone on to work in at McDonald's or other hospitality jobs because it's given them that breakthrough and that confidence to do it.
Yes.
Plus they're our volunteers of tomorrow, right? So we want them to be the spirit of tomorrow, so to get them into that kind of volunteering role and the roles that they enjoy is really important to us.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, so sport has a way of bringing people together. How has football helped build the sense of connection, health, and belonging within your club?
Yeah, look, I'll take it from a personal perspective. So it's probably my men's shed, so it's my escape from life. It's where I can go on a Saturday, enjoy football, have a beer, have a chat to people. And I think that reflects across a number of people, certainly, of my demographic at the club as well. But even with, if I think of the junior parents and mums that are sitting on the sidelines during training or the games when they have a chat and they make those connections as well. We've also really lent into our community partnerships. So we've got a couple of charity partnerships. We have Pact with Care, so we have Megan at Pact with Care Foundation there, who we have on our women's sleeve and we support with donation drives during the year. We have a charity partnership with our men's team for the Silver Fox Initiative, based in Springfield, that look after men's mental health, which is really good. We had our charity game on Sunday afternoon. And again, that raises awareness for people that it's okay to have a chat. How are you doing? Are you okay? We can follow those things through. And for our junior players, we have Pushing Barriers, which actually seek community sport opportunities for refugee kids. So they're really important relationships for us.
All right, so changing it up a little bit, we'll switch to the award now. The Lifestyle Award celebrates businesses and organisations that enhance people's well-being. How does Western Spirit promote a healthy and positive lifestyle for players, families, and their supporters?
Okay, so look, we've got the obvious thing, which is the physical health. You know, people are out there playing football, they're training, and that's through all age groups. So our program started under 3 and 5s for our squirts, through to juniors, through to seniors, right the way through this year to walking football. So we have 60, 70, 80-year-olds involved in the club. So some good physical health there as well, but also the mental well-being. You know, having that escape. Coming down, you know, when you're training or you're playing football, you're thinking nothing else really. You're just playing the game. You know, you have that escape, but we're also, you know, trying to create a fun and friendly environment, so it's a safe place to be.
Yes.
You know, so you know, sometimes people are having difficulties at home, and they might be having difficulties at school or work, but they can come down to Spirit. Yeah, they're not judged. Everybody's wearing the same kit. They're playing football. They're in it together as a team. You know, if we can just lift that burden for a couple of hours every week, that's a great achievement for us.
Yeah, agreed. Couldn't agree more. All right, so the club caters to players of all ages and levels. What's been one of the most rewarding aspects of seeing that, I guess, inclusivity in action?
Yeah. Look, there's lots. There's probably two I'd like to just pick on. Our women's program. So after an absence of many years, we didn't have dedicated girls and women's teams. We restarted those 2 years ago. We've just one senior women's team. Last year we grew to 5 junior girls and women's teams, and this year we'll have at least 8, maybe 9 across the board. And they've just added a great perspective to the club. You know, they've just softened a lot of things. Their involvement, it's just made a massive difference across the club, and we're really pleased with their presence. The second part of it is walking football. So we started that in March. So if you're not aware of it, it's basically football in its normal term, but you just don't run, you walk. So it caters for an older age group.
Yes.
Typically 50 and upwards, but we've had a lot of the younger players enjoy that, and we're getting 24, 25 people every Wednesday night now to that. I think we're the only club in Ipswich that's running that. And with support from Ipswich City Council with a health and active program, we've been able to make that free to the community as well. So, so they've been 2 really big wins for us. So,
I didn't know about that program, so that's amazing to hear that. All right, so running a community club is no small feat. What have been some of the key challenges, and I think you alluded to some earlier there when you first came on board, but what have been some of the key challenges and how have you and the team overcome them?
Yeah, look, this could probably be an hour-long podcast in itself, right? The challenges of running a community club.
Okay, the high level.
for volunteers. Look, it's those extreme events that you get. So, you know, the floods, the fires. I think we've had all of those things. Weather this year has been a tremendous challenge to us as well. It seems to have rained every Friday and Saturday just when we're ready to play. So there's been a lot of reorganising. But running a community club as volunteer, it's a full-time job after a full-time job. Most volunteers running community clubs or community sport would know you're putting 20, 30 hours a week. When you come home in the evening or across the weekend. And it really is a small business. I mean, we've got 600 members, so there's 600 customers that come to see us 2 to 3 times a week for training or games. We're doing strategic planning, we're running budgets, we're running merchandise, canteens, field marking, kits, across the board. I mean, managing staff, managing volunteers. So it is a full-time job. The key challenges, I would say, are probably the governance. So, local government, the governing bodies, there's a lot of paperwork. Volunteerism across the board is in decline. So it's tougher to get volunteers. When you become a volunteer, you probably want to join up to, you want to turn the sausage over, you want to coach your kids, you don't want to be stuck behind a laptop filling in paperwork and forms.
Correct.
So there's some challenges there, which we've tried to address by creating roles that are more bite-sized. So rather than having your traditional club secretary role, you'll have a club secretary, but you might have a minutes secretary or a fixture secretary. So try to break some of those roles up to make them more palatable. And I suppose the big elephant in the room for everyone is funding. So, the cost of living is increasing. We try to keep our costs as low as we can to make sure everybody can play. But, trying to get that funding in, because we get funding through registrations, which is our biggest, but through canteen and bar, and then our generous business partners. So, we would not be able to do it without them. So, they come to the club and they'll put money in. We'll have advertising boards, or as you can see, logos on shirts and things, and that makes a massive difference to us.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I definitely understand, and I definitely agree. People volunteering, unfortunately, it is on a decline. So it is hard. It's a struggle in those community spaces. All right. So when you heard Western Spirit's name announced for the Lifestyle Award, what was your first thoughts?
First thought was I wish I'd prepared a speech.
But I thought you spoke quite well on the night.
Thank you. Look, I was shocked. We were amazed. Probably proud was the biggest thing. As I said, we've had those challenges, and Western Spirit has been running for 20 years. It was the formation of two clubs, Goodna and Camira, came together to be Western Spirit. Yep. Those volunteers, past and present, they've worked tirelessly to keep the club afloat. So that's recognition for them, really. And it probably just strengthens what we're trying to do as well, to get that recognition back. So, it was amazing on the night.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. So this recognition, obviously, it goes beyond sport. It's about lifestyle, teamwork, and impact. What does winning this award mean for your members and the volunteers who make it all possible? Yeah,
as I said, look, I think it's a pat on the back. It's that recognition, but I think it also supports the approach that we're trying to make. We're trying to make the player experience, the supporter experience, the volunteer experience as best as we can. We want people to fall in love with Spirit. We want you to come down there and enjoy it. We want you to be hanging out for the next game or the next training session because you love coming down to Spirit. That's the approach we try to take. Every decision we make, we consider those things as we move forward. So I think it's just backing up that we're on the right track there, we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so we introduced a new segment into the podcast recently, which is a quick fire getting to know the person in the hot seat. So I'll throw a couple of questions at you, just first thing that springs to mind. So favourite football team other than Western Spirit?
Yeah, that's a tough one other than Western Spirit. Let me go with a fictional one. I'll go AFC Richmond and Ted Lasso. So we've loved watching Ted Lasso, and there's a personal connection to there. It's actually filmed in my hometown back in England. So So we really enjoyed watching that. But I think some of the lessons learned there, the life lessons out of Ted Lasso are amazing. So.
Yeah, definitely. All right, game day ritual. Whether it's a coffee, a playlist, a pep talk, what is it?
Yeah. Look, it's probably the bacon egg roll and the coffee on a Saturday morning at Western Spirit just to kickstart that 7 o'clock junior game. So.
Yeah. And the best post-match meal?
Look, it's got to be a Banjo's Pie, right? So they're one of our key sponsors, but if you haven't tried a Banjo's Pie, highly recommend them.
Yeah. And lastly, just one word to describe the club's culture.
Look, there's so many words. Look, I would say inclusivity. We're lucky the area we're in. We have a very varied demographic, and we're lucky to have so many people come and join us, male, female, different ages. Inclusivity.
Yeah, wonderful. All right, so we'll wrap this up. I've got one last question for you. What's next for Western Spirit? Any exciting plans, community events, or club goals for the year ahead?
Yeah. Look, 2025 has been a massive year for us. So on the back of winning the Lifestyle Award, we were voted Football Queensland Metro Community Club of the Year.
Yeah, wow, congrats.
And then on Saturday night at Brisbane City Hall at the Gala Dinner, we won the Queensland Award for Community Club of the Year. So that is amazing for us to win those 3 awards in such a short space of time. And fingers crossed, we're at the Ipswich Sports Awards tonight as well, so it could be
lovely
a quadrilla for us. So, so 2025 has been a massive year. 2026 we'll be looking to grow again. We've grown by 20% in the last couple of years, so we'll be looking to add that growth in there, making sure that it's sustainable and that we stabilise the club moving forward. We launched a new logo on Friday, so we're not quite all the way with purple, but there's a bit of lavender in there now where
nice.
If you've been to Kipping Park, we have jacaranda trees surrounding the pitch, so we've got a jacaranda tree on our new logo now. So we'll be leaning into that with new merchandise and new kits, etc. So
lovely.
It's an exciting time ahead. Infrastructure upgrades planned at our training facility and our main field. So the future's really bright.
Yeah, lovely. Congrats. And we're happy that you've chosen some purple. Yeah. All right, well, that wraps it up for us. Thank you for coming in to have a chat, Mark. Appreciate it. And thank you for tuning in to the latest episode of the GSBC podcast. Make sure to follow and like us on all of our social media channels.